It was 5:47 a.m. in Brooklyn. The subway platform was almost empty, just the sound of distant trains and a man holding a paper cup of coffee that had already gone cold. His name was Daniel Carter, 34 years old, recently laid off, savings almost gone, in his wallet just one last $20 bill. He stared at it like it was a decision. Rent was due in 3 days, his phone bill overdue, and he hadn't told his mom yet because she already worried too much. The train roared in. Daniel sat near the window, watching the city wake up. New York didn't care if you were broke. It didn't slow down. It didn't wait. At the next stop, an older man stepped in, gray beard, construction boots, worn jacket. He sat across from Daniel and dropped his lunch bag. An apple rolled out. Daniel picked it up and handed it back. "Rough morning?" the old man asked, noticing Daniel's tired eyes. Daniel forced a smile. "Something like that." The old man nodded. "You look like I did in '92. Daniel chuckled. "What happened in '92? "Lost everything," the man said calmly. "Job, house, almost my marriage. Thought it was over." Daniel leaned forward slightly. "So what changed?" The old man looked straight at him. "I stopped waiting for someone to rescue me." The train slowed. Before getting off, the old man reached into his pocket and placed something on the seat. A small folded card. "Sometimes," he said, "rock bottom is just a foundation." And he walked off. Daniel opened the card. It wasn't money. It wasn't a job offer. It was a business address. A small construction company in Queens. On the back, handwritten, "Ask for Mike. Tell him I sent you. Thomas." Daniel looked at his $20 again. That was subway fare and maybe lunch. He could go home, or he could try. 2 hours later, Daniel stood outside that address. It wasn't glamorous. Paint peeling. Old trucks parked outside. He almost turned around. Then he remembered rent. He walked in. "Can I help you?" a woman at the desk asked. I'm looking for Mike." Moments later, a big guy in a hard hat walked out. "Yeah?" Daniel swallowed. Thomas sent. Mike froze for a second, then smiled. "You met the old man on the train, didn't you?" Daniel nodded. Mike laughed. "That guy does this every few months. Says the subway finds the hungry ones." Daniel didn't understand. Mike crossed his arms. "You ever worked construction?" "No." "You afraid of hard work?" Daniel hesitated, then shook his head. Mike stared at him for a long second. "Be here tomorrow at 6 a.m. Steel toe boots." Just like that. No resume, no interview, just a chance. 6 months later, Daniel stood on the same subway platform, but this time, different posture, different eyes. His hands were rough now, back stronger, confidence louder. He still kept that folded card in his wallet. Thomas, he never saw him again, but Daniel learned something that morning. Sometimes the world doesn't give you a mirror. It gives you a door, and you decide whether to knock. He pulled out his wallet. Inside, more than just $20 now, but he kept one $20 bill folded separately. A reminder, not of being broke, but of the day he chose not to quit.